How's it cooking good looking? My name is Amalie and today we are cooking keto burgers. So a keto burger is a high-fat, low-carb burger, and it's a perfect burger for whomever is on the ketogenic diet, which I currently am, and that's why you're gonna see a lot of keto recipes on this channel. So the recipe is actually quite simple, but it does require a lot of different elements, as you can see. But don't get afraid, it's super easy. We are gonna make a fast pickled cucumber, and then we are gonna make our keto bread. It's a sponge bread that we're gonna use for our burger bread. So the first thing we are gonna do is to make our little pickled cucumber thing. And we are gonna do that with slicing up a cucumber. You can use a knife or you can use a mandolin iron. We are gonna put some olive oil in this little bowl, as well as some apple cider vinegar. So now we are gonna add in some Himalayan salt and some pepper. And some minced garlic, and we are gonna whisk it together so it's all combined. If you prefer, you can also put in a little bit of Dijon mustard, just a tiny little bit. It's gonna give it more of a fatty, creamy texture or feel, and it's really nice to coat your cucumbers that way in the dressing. But I'm gonna use the Dijon mustard when I assemble the burger instead. So now let's add in our cucumbers and just make sure that they are all coated very nicely. And then all we have to do is to set it aside. Now we are gonna make our burger. For that we are gonna use approximately 300 grams of ground beef. I went to the butcher and I selected the fattiest beef he could make me, because I really like when there's a lot of fat in it when you make a burger, right? Because also keto requires fat, but it's nice to have a juicy burger, and you get it more juicy if it has a little bit more fat. So we are gonna add some spices to the meat. We are gonna add some Italian spice, some paprika, some Himalayan salt, some black pepper, and a little bit of piri. And then now I'm gonna use my fingers just to make sure that the meat and the spices are all well combined. And I'm gonna divide this one into 3 burgers because Jon is gonna get a double burger. Just gonna form the burgers in my hand to begin with. And then when I start making them more flat, I'm gonna use my hand in the edges here. Then I can form it more round and I can make sure that it's more or less even. So I'm gonna use a knife just to make some lines in the burger, so the salt that I'm gonna add in a bit is gonna soak into the meat. I already have salt and pepper and all the spices inside, but I do like to have a salty crust on my burger meat. Just before I put it on the pan, I'm gonna hit it with some salt. So for the keto bread, I'm using a keto sponge bread recipe. So this batch is for 2 buns only. First thing is some almond flour. We got 60 grams of almond flour here. Then we need a pinch of salt, or 2. Let's put 2. Some Italian spice mix and some baking powder. And I'm actually using a full teaspoon of baking powder because we really want this to rise. I'm gonna take 30 grams of butter, and this I need to melt so it's almost fluid but not hot. I'm gonna combine this so it's more or less even, like so. I'm gonna add in a tiny bit of garlic. I'm gonna start and combine this into somewhat of a dough here. We need 2 eggs, 1 more, and that's gonna be mixed in with the dough here. This dough is actually a micro oven dough. I'm using this container as a mold because this is the one that's gonna shape our bread into the way it's gonna look. And I'm using half of the dough for the first bun. And this puppy is going in the micro oven for 1.5 minutes, more or less. So you can see it's twice as big as it was when we put it in. We are gonna slice it up here, and then we're gonna toast it so it actually looks like bread. So I'm gonna make batch number 2, which is gonna be a bit of a bigger bun because that's for Jon, and Jon needs the bigger bun. So one thing that I noticed, because normally I've made these in smaller molds, if you use a mold like this, which is probably what, 12 centimeters? If you use that, it's 2 minutes in the micro oven and not 1.5. So we have our bacon, we have our burgers, and now we have our bread. Now we're gonna go to the stove and do some frying. I'm gonna heat up my cast iron to high, and then I'm gonna put some butter in. So now that it's heating up nicely, I'm gonna fry my bacon. So I won't dictate how long you are gonna fry your bacon, but I like it very, very crispy. So I'm gonna give it 2 minutes on each side. It's starting to release the foam of fat. That's when I know it's done. I'm always leaving my bacon on a little paper towel. A little bit more butter is landing on the pan because now we are ready for our burgers. I am gonna, as I said, hit my burgers with a little bit of salt. Now the butter is browning on the pan, and that means that we are ready to flip the burgers there. So I'm putting the salty side down so that I can add salt on the upper side now. So I'm frying the burgers 2 minutes on each side because I want them to be medium well done. I do like a medium well burger when it's made out of ground beef. Oh, it looks so good already. And it smells amazing. I don't know, ground beef with a lot of fat just smells amazing. That's just how it is. Immediately after flipping, I am adding my cheese. So, burgers are done. I'm gonna set them aside, just let them rest for a couple of minutes while we are toasting our bread. This is what we're gonna toast our bread in. And that is what's gonna make the bread very nice and crunchy. Oh my God, I love the way this looks. This is also the reason why it feels so much like bread when you eat it, because it has this nice crusty toasted surface. It's time for my favorite part. We're gonna assemble our burgers. Every single burger needs mayo. And actually, even though I prefer to make my mayo myself, this one is store-bought. And I realized that you can get some really good store-bought mayonnaise that only has fat, basically. We are also gonna add some pesto. We are gonna add in some rocket salad.
You mean Jeff Bezos salad?
Jeff Bezos salad, exactly. And then we're gonna add the first of Jon's 2 burgers. A nice tomato. Second burger, we are gonna add some of our pickled cucumbers, and these are very garlicky and super delicious. Bacon. And then for our top layer, we are gonna add some tomato puree. It has to be 100% tomato because otherwise it has too much sugar and it's not good for you on this diet. We're gonna add some mustard and more mayo. I know it doesn't look so delicious, but trust me, this is gonna taste heavenly once it's all combined and on top. You want more mayo? You can have more mayo, it's good for you. On keto, you can have all the things the doctors tell you not to eat and you'll feel better than ever. Isn't that amazing? There you go. Oh, it looks good. It looks like a happy frog. I am adding so many pickled cucumbers to mine because it's literally, in my book, you can't have too many of it. Voila. There you go. And guys, here we got them. The 2 keto burgers. One for Jon, one for me. And I feel like it's time to just dig in.
Can I come?
Come on, join me.
I don't want to film anymore.
You shouldn't. This is yours.
Oh. And I always eat with
fork and knife. Actually, I'm gonna do the same.
I do the same with pizza. Mm. 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 Mm.
That's a good burger.
That's a good keto burger.
Tastes like normal burger.
I think this is my favorite keto bread because it's like focaccia bread.
But I also think it's the fact that it's toasted. It makes it a little bit more breadish, which I like. But guys, if this video made you hungry, give it a like. If it made you drool, subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video for another keto recipe. See ya!